there's just a snapshot of what AFLW Pride Round means to some of the players across the competition. It's the 1 week in the fixture when it comes out every year that it's marked in by the players and so many people for what it means.
Hello everyone and welcome to the W Show. Thanks of course to NAB Nat Edwards and Bulldog star Bonnie Toogood and award-winning journalist Sarah Black with you today. Welcome ladies. Bonnie, good to see you because well, we haven't seen you on the footy field for a while.
No, it's been a long couple of weeks battling the COVID, but we're here now and it's great to be here with you two lovely ladies and I'm very excited about the show.
I know, it's a big one coming up. We've got plenty to unpack. Sarah, Pride Round, it was a great round.
It always is, and I think it was really great to see for the second year that it was a full round as opposed to just the one game, and you love to see all the fans get around it as well.
So COVID, the Rona, you had it, unfortunately. A lot of your teammates have had it too because the Bulldogs haven't played for 2 whole weeks. What has it been like and I guess the long-lasting effects that you've had with the Rona?
It's been, with the Rona, it's been a whirlwind, I'm not going to lie. I did get quite sick and the fever was the thing that got me, and I had reports that in my sleep I got quite distressed and was having hallucinating dreams. And some of the things that I mumbled included, I ate the football, our game got cancelled. So that was kind of crazy. So clearly I was stressed about footy at the time. But yeah, got quite sick and it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks for us at the Bulldogs. Couldn't have predicted that this was going to happen to us in rounds 2 and 3. However, we've rallied together, we've tried to stay positive and now hopefully we can get our season underway very soon.
And what's it been like for the girls who weren't affected? Like we understand there was quite a few who were out of action for a period of time, but there was still some girls who were ready to go. Were they training or what was happening? Yeah,
so they were training. The club still held, obviously, those training sessions that we would have had all together. So they've kept training. I think it's been a really tough situation for them because they're ready to go. They're a bundle of energy and ready to play football, but we've just had to delay their excitement as well just so we can get a bit more of the cavalry back.
So you're supposed to play the Giants this weekend in round 4. Talk us through, are you confident that you've got enough players to field a team? Will we see the Bulldogs this weekend?
I think what I've loved over the past couple of weeks is that the AFL and the club have put our health first, and that's obviously the number one priority and what they've done. And we're on the mend, we're getting girls back in leaps and bounds. So again, we'll train tonight, see how we go and how we all pull up and recover. And obviously our health is that number one priority. But we're getting there and hopefully we are playing this weekend.
The flip side of it, of course, is the fact that the Giants have played 3 games in a row now. And you guys, you had the practice match, a few weeks off, played round 1, a few weeks off. Are you concerned that the rest of the competition is sort of getting ahead of you a little bit?
I guess that is a great point, Sarah. I haven't thought about that. I've been more focused on just trying to get better. A lot of us girls have been sick and the fatigue has been a bit of an issue. Going into this weekend, we have trust in our strength and conditioning, in our programming and in the club that we'll be in best nick possible to play the Giants and give up a good fight and hopefully get the W. So it's been very interesting and I have confidence in what we're going to produce for the rest of the season, and we just have to make sure that our health was the number one priority.
Well, we're glad to see you better. Speaking of the Giants, though, they were certainly have been disappointing in 2022. They went down to the Kangaroos on the weekend by 27 points. I know it was a really hot day, 35 degrees. You also had the missing Beck Beeson, one of their best and most important midfielders as well. But they were scoreless in the first half. Sarah, what is going wrong at the Giants?
Once again, inconsistency is an issue at GWS. It's something we've been saying, unfortunately, for the last number of years. They had quite a strong off-season and we had quite high hopes. They brought in Jazz Grierson, Katie Loynes and Chloe Dalton. Jazz isn't getting a game at the moment, which is a bit of a concern. Katie had quite a quiet performance against the Roos, and Chloe was a little bit patchy, but she's had a few injuries along the way. But it's just been a bit of an issue all round. Bonnie, you've done quite a deep dive on this. Talk us through what you've found.
Yeah, so they have been disappointing and it started with their pressure. They were negative 13 in tackles on the weekend and the Kangaroos had too many free players. As we can see here, the ball is in the Giants' defensive 50 and you have Ali Gavalis for the Roos just sitting there open and there was no urgency in defensive transition. Again, we see the Roos can chain a handball out and then a long kick into forward 50 with a deep forward with no person on them. So that's really concerning for the Giants because there's that intent and that want to run defensively is a real issue for them. I don't know if it was the weather, was it hot, were they lethargic? You can piece all those things together, but it was just really disappointing.
Well, let's hear from the coach, Alan McConnell, after the game.
Somebody like Lisa Steen, struggles. Like she gets to the ball in the first half, but under the intensity of that pressure, she's not quite at the level. Nick Barr is another one. Early in the game, she had some half chances and fumbled or got pushed off the ball, and in the last quarter, they couldn't keep up. The game isn't always on your terms, and when it's not, you've got to fight better than we fight in those moments.
Really strong comments there from Alan McConnell. Now, it's worth mentioning that no journalist brought up those players' names. He voluntarily mentioned them, Bonnie. If you're one of those players who he spoke about so publicly in that manner, how do you handle that? How do you take that?
I'm not going to lie, I don't think I've ever watched a post-game press conference done by my coach. Sorry, Berkey. The only one that I did the only one I did watch was when he gave Sarah the call up to put boots on and be ready to play for us. But as a player, I guess when you hear and you get feedback like that, you've got to hear the message, and what he's saying is mindset is an issue for them at the moment. And as a player, you need to be take accountability in the mindset that you go into games. And as he said, if the ball's not going your way, how do you make it go your way? What are the things that you can do to get yourself involved in the game and make an impact for your team? They're strong words, and feedback is something that we as players take on, and we need to then implement what we can to be better.
Just quickly on the Roos as well, they're 2-1. They lost to the Crows last weekend. How have you both assessed their start to the season? Are they genuine contenders?
I don't think they're quite there yet. Just their midfield, we know how strong they are, and that was what really set them apart against the Giants. But I just feel like there's one piece of the puzzle that's still missing for North Melbourne. The forward line can be a little bit hit and miss. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it really struggles for me.
Can they throw Kingy down there? I know they brought in Kim Rennie as an extra ruck option. They need to solidify a tall forward down there that scores goal. I feel like Kingy is such a hard opponent to match up on. Can we see her in the forward line more often to be that presence? I'm not sure. I don't know what the answer is, but I definitely think that forward line is where their downfall is.
Well, the D's perfect start to the season has continued with a win over what was a very plucky Saints outfit, but it really was Melbourne's class that just shone through in that final term. We've now had 3 weeks to look at Taylor Harris fitting into this D's forward line. Bonnie, your thoughts so far?
I think she's been able to find space. She's moving really well in that forward 50 and owning it. She's taking tough defenders each week, so that's opening up Kate Hoare to also have scoring opportunities. She had many on the weekend. If she was
to kick straight.
Exactly right. If she was a little bit more accurate, she could have walked away with a bag of goals. But Taylor's been strong for them, a strong presence, and then that opens up their other forwards in the forward line.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw, the likes of Tyler Hanks managed to crumb 2 goals throughout the game as well. So, when Taylor's not marking the ball, she's bringing it to ground, which I think is the most pleasing aspect for Mixtoneer.
Now, with the Saints, they were missing Caitlin Greiser. She was dropped, obviously, in 2020, her debut season. What a season it was, because she was the leading goal kicker in the AFLW. 9 goals last season. Started 2022 with 0 goals in the first 2 games. Was dropped by Nick Dal Santo. Does she get back into the side, Sarah?
It's tough as a key forward when your side's not winning the footy. I think we've got to acknowledge that for a start. But saying that, the Saints forward line did look a lot more mobile this round against the Ds. I thought Nicola Zenos was great.
Yeah.
Kate Sheila was really getting up and down the ground really well. So it could be really tough, particularly without any VFLW footy to fall back on, Bonnie.
Yeah, it's really hard when we don't play in our off-season, so it's a huge gap. It's 6 to 7 months where you're not playing footy, especially over the past 2 years with COVID. However, it has been documented that she has got her 2K time trial down. And something that I went through a couple of years is when I did the same thing, I actually lost my speed and power. And for a key forward and a player like Caitlin, she needs that power and she needs that ability to launch, jump for the football, and be really fast. And I think maybe that's where she's lost a little bit and could focus on for the next few weeks and for years to come.
Okay, well, it'd be good to see the G Train back out there in action. She is a talent indeed. Another team with a perfect record to start 2022 is Fremantle after they beat Richmond by 30 points. That was on Saturday night, and it was a goal fest, the highest scoring AFLW game in history, a combined score of 18-16, 124. Incredible that they had 16 goal scorers across this game. It was so entertaining to watch. And the Dockers, Bonnie, have this amazing scoring prowess, and good to see Roxy Rue back.
Absolutely. It's always good to see the excitement machine, Roxy Rue, back. I was a bit sceptical at the start of this year about Freo and their scoring power, with Ash Sharp and Sabrina Duffy not being in the side this year. However, with the likes of Cara Antonio and Ebony Antonio hitting the scoreboard each week, you've got your ever-reliable tools with Gemma Houghton and Roxy Rue, of course. And then you've got mids who are also hitting the scoreboard, like Hayley Miller.
Yeah, and it was something that Trent Cooper made, who had a really strong off-season in terms of media, Trent. He was very strong on a number of things, but one thing he said was that he was looking for more scoring power from the likes of Hayley and Kiara Bowers. And I think Hayley's had an incredible start to the season. You know, it's her first season as captain, and some players, you know, find that extra responsibility a little bit hard to take on, but Hayley is just absolutely thriving.
Well, for 4 seasons straight, the Dockers have started each season 3 and zip. I guess the litmus test will come this week when they face Collingwood. I do want to talk about the whole WA situation, though, right now, because it's an interesting and it's changing daily and by the hour, really, with WA not agreeing to open up its borders on Feb 5 as previously thought, which is obviously going to have a flow-on effect when it comes to West Coast and Fremantle. Sarah, you've got some breaking news for us.
Yeah, so now, as you said, fair bit of scrambling involved from the fixture team. Once again, do not envy their role at all.
No.
It'd be an absolute headache. But, you know, the Fremantle and West Coast had agreed to come over to Victoria on the back that this would be a 3-week period. Now, the coaches and players alike, they all have work commitments, they've got family back home, and so that was the agreement. On the back of that, the AFL are keen to reduce the spread of games, I think it's safe to say, and looking to potentially move some games for round 4 to start on a Thursday night, which means that the knock-on effect is that we might see some games on a Tuesday or a Wednesday next week. So definitely one to watch, a lot of moving parts.
So a condensed fixture we're talking.
Condensed fixture, yeah, in order to get those girls and the coaches back in time as promised. And I think, Bonnie, you know, your girls are down 2 games at the moment, so the Bulldogs could be one who we see play on a Wednesday night.
A midweek game.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I'm not mad about it. It'll be something different. I haven't done it before, so I'm excited.
We'll see. The fixture, of course, if there is a reshuffle, will be on women's.afl and the AFLW official app. So make sure you check that out when it all drops. The AFL obviously working very, very hard to get that up and running. I want to move on now and talk about the Adelaide Crows. They are on top of the ladder at the moment and they look scarily good. You look at their forward line, it's so dynamic. Or Ash Woodland, who's having a cracking season to start. But their defence, I feel like that is the real unsung hero because they're rock solid down there, and Sarah Allen, she controlled that perfectly against the Eagles on the weekend, Bonnie.
She's an absolute general down there. As we can see, she just is composed when she has the football and she makes the right decision. What I love about the Adelaide backs is that they hold their structure. They allow their opponents to get sucked up the ground, and they just sit back and then are able to start their attack from there, and it comes from Sarah Allen. She reads the ball so well and she continues to rebound. The Eagles had 23 inside 50s on the weekend and the Crows rebounded 21 times. So if it comes in, it's going back out.
Well, the Cats might have lost on Friday night to the Pies, but they have been the big improver in 2022 under a new coach in Dan Lowther. Where has the improvement come from, Sarah?
Well, you speak to any of the players who have come up against the Cats of late, and the thing they are raving about is their pressure around the footy. It immediately gets them back on sort of a level footing with their opposition. And some of the additions to that midfield have been great. Georgie Prespakis, even young Darcy Maloney has really improved. And I think a lot of that has come on the back of their strong VFLW form, Bonnie.
They had a great VFLW season. Their pressure around the ball, as you said, Sarah, is second to none, and what kept them in this game and the weekend. I think their next layer is getting it on the outside, as we can see in this passage of play. They get it out to Sophie Van Hoovel, and she's able to just run in so much time and space. And entering a forward 50 that is open, and here we get Geordie Ivey taking a mark and they convert on this occasion. And that's what's really important for the Cats, and their next layer of improvement is getting that outside run and that open space to work into.
Yeah, that was so exciting, that piece of play. I reckon one of the best pieces of play I've seen from the Cats in the last couple of years. Very exciting stuff. Now, unfortunately, like your Bulldogs, no games for the Suns as well across the weekend. They've had the same problems as the Doggies. But last week, it was Charlie Rowbottom, the #1 draft pick, who was one of the NAB AFLW Rising Star nominees. And we saw just why she was the top draft pick. What has impressed you most, Sarah, about her first couple of games?
I think it's actually the maturity she's shown. She had quite a quiet debut against GWS, looked a bit unsettled and uncertain, but when the game was on the line against the Eagles, she really came out all guns blazing. Her pressure around the footy was first class, and she wasn't thrown by the occasion at all, Bon.
She makes a really quick decision whether she needs to attack or defend. She had 12 tackles on the weekend, so if she knew she wasn't winning the ball, she was there applying the pressure. And when she needed to attack for her team, she also got 6 clearances. So she has this great switch in knowing when she needs to attack and when she needs to defend, which was really impressive. I'm really excited to see what she's got. I don't want to put any more pressure on her that she already has as a #1 draft pick.
Yep.
We've had a couple in the Bulldogs, and there is pressure there. So I just want her to continue to enjoy her football this year and do what she needs to do for her team.
Well, she certainly looks like she is so far. Hopefully we can see the Suns and Charlie back on the field very, very soon. Time now to take a look at what is trending on social media. And Lily Mithen, unfortunately missing the D's game through health and safety protocols, but not missing the club song. There she is in her Pride tee as well, which is fabulous. Now, Emma O'Driscoll from Freo. How good's this celebration? I'm not sure any of us could do that, really.
I'm not that athletic.
Not that athletic? Okay. And what about this from the Adelaide Crows coach, Jock Clark, and his wife, Ali? The players in ISO, they're dressing up and dancing on the street. Look at the people walking past. Nothing.
Like
no
nothing's
reaction.
happening. MVP in this video is clearly Clark's wife.
Yeah, Ali.
Ali. She really, I think she put the whole dance together. And I'm just going to have to talk to Nathan and say, you need to step up your game.
Yeah,
when us girls are in ISO and...
What happened? Did he do anything?
No.
No dance?
No dance.
Oh, come on. Come on,
Nathan.
Becky. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
One of the toughest AFL players we've seen. We'd love to see him,
Wouldn't
you
you?
know,
I
get
think
down.
it would be
Yeah.
a really good opportunity for him to show his fun side.
Yep.
And just to finish off, a little bit of a what the moment from Beck Goddard, who we absolutely love. She's going to be Hawthorn's AFLW coach next season, but obviously part of the Channel 7 commentary team. This from her on the weekend.
We need a goal this quarter. We need a goal from the Giants. They haven't kicked one in 5 quarters now, and where the cobwebs are plenty, the kisses are scarce. Bit of classic Beck Goddard for you.
Say that again?
Say that again.
What?
I don't get it.
I didn't get it either.
I think it's one of those ones where you get halfway through the sentence and go, oh, how am I getting out of this one? But yeah, it's classic Beck Goddard. We'd love to see more of it.
It's entertaining, I'll give her that, but more context would be
Just
great.
right over the top of my head. I have no idea. What we do have an idea about is that on Tuesday night, Brisbane and Carlton are going to be playing a midweek game. Got nothing else to do on a Tuesday night, so I'm actually looking forward to this one. Quick thoughts on this game. Sarah, we'll start with you.
We're not quite sure what we're going to see from the Lions. Have obviously had a week off, but also we'll be without Kate Lutkins and Dakota Davidson through injuries. So looking forward to seeing how they structure up.
They're big losses for Brisbane. If Carlton get their way and play their uncontested game, I think it's going to be really tough for Lions, especially off the back of COVID. But it's really going to depend how they all pull up. If they can bring that pressure, then I think they're going to be okay, because Carlton don't like that. But we'll just have to wait and see how they all pull up.
Cannot wait for that one. Bonnie, thank you so much for being here. Glad to see you fit and firing, and hopefully the doggies are out there come the weekend. Fingers crossed,
Fingers
Sarah.
crossed.
As always, love your work. You can check out all of Sarah's fabulous work on women's.afl. Thank you so much for watching The W Show. We'll be back next week, same time, same place.